Hi everyone. So, officially now halfway through treatment. Um, yeah, it's a weird feeling. Um, I'll tell you about my day first of all because I think that kind of explains a lot. As you can hear, my voice is actually a bit shaky, which has become a bit of a side effect after um, my initial chemo treatment, which I've noticed, which is quite funny because my voice usually my legs that are shaky, not my voice. And sorry about the angle and the shakiness of the video. It's literally in my hand, and I literally cannot keep my hand steady either at the moment. So that's probably another side effect, such my body going into hyperdrive. As you can see, I'm now fogging up as well in my glasses because I'm going from hot to cold constantly. So that's a bit of fun. So, as I said, 4 deep now. Fourth cycle out of 6, so I've only got 2 more to go once I'm disconnected on Friday. So, on the downward track now, which is awesome. Today was a bit of a testing day, to be honest. I did actually have some friends that were wanting to come with me today, but I decided I need to do it alone today just because I have honestly my mental health has actually started to go a bit downhill, which is obviously to be expected in these situations. So I can definitely say that I'll be getting on the therapy train within the next week or so, just because I think it's about time that I spoke to someone. And there's no shame in that. Everyone has their own mental health issues, or maybe you don't. I can't speak for everyone, but I believe really everyone needs to talk to someone at some point in their life. I'm going to take my glasses off and you can deal with me being no glasses now because it keeps fogging up. So today, it was a bit of a big day. I went in for my 9:20 appointment, was there by 9 because I catch an Uber in. Saw the doctor at 9:45. There wasn't any major issues, of course, with seeing the doctor. We just did the usual quick chat, catch up. Yep, all good. Bloods are fine. Yep. Then I was due to go in at 10:30 for my the start of my infusion. That didn't actually go to plan. So at 10:30, one of the nurses came and grabbed me and said, "Oh, we've got to do a blood test for you." And I was just like, "Oh, I've already had my bloods done," because I get them done externally, literally across the road from me at the shopping centre the day before, which is completely fine by my doctor. So that happened, and so I went in. She put the needle into, or I guess you call it the needle because it really is a needle, the entry into the portacath, and did my bloods through that, and then sent me back to the waiting room. And I was just like, oh fuck, how long am I going to be waiting? So at this point, because I have an iPhone, unfortunately, even though I am an iPhone lover, my battery started to get lower and lower and lower, and I started to get more bored in the waiting room. There was only so many conversations that I could listen into that were actually interesting. And of course, as to one of my previous rants, I do get over people talking loudly in waiting rooms, but that's another story. So I eventually go in at 1 o'clock, pretty much just before 1 o'clock. So I was waiting in the waiting room for almost 2.5 hours, which was just, once again, with my mental health alone with my thoughts, it was a bit hectic. So I go in. Luckily, I had one of my favourite nurses, Claire, look after me today, which always does make a difference. I've gotten quite friendly with the nurses just because they understand my dark sense of humour, as a lot of people do now. And you have to make fun of it, because if you don't make fun of it with what you're going through, it's just too serious. And the nurses themselves, they get that because they see it day in, day out. They have people, like Claire told me today, that the guy next to me, he's literally been going into the oncology ward for the last 5 years, on and off for treatment. So of course you befriend people, of course people start to get to know you, and you have those sort of connections. So anyway, started treatment around 1 o'clock. Started having the steroids pumped through, which of course, as you can see, it's a full moon outside and inside right now, like with my face. It literally puffs so much up, and this really talks to my insecurities, which I've talked about in one of my previous posts. Then the admin lady came and saw me, and she brought over my next lot of appointments. So they actually give you a handout and they tell you your schedule basically for your next lot of appointments. And I was looking through and I noticed that there was more treatments booked in past the 1st of June, which is tentatively the end of the 6th cycle. And I was just like, fuck, what the hell is going on? What is someone not telling me? So I showed it to Claire and she was like, yeah, it does actually say 4 of 12 here. Maybe the doctors changed the goalpost. And I was just like, okay, do I have to prepare myself for now needing 12 rounds instead of the proposed 6? And I wasn't freaking out too much about it. I was just like, I know it's a typo because he would have told me if there was anything going on. So I didn't really freak out, but at the same point, of course, internally I was a bit like, for fuck's sake, like what the fuck is going on? So one of the nurses went and checked in with my doctor and he said, no, it's just the system was entered incorrectly for some reason and to just disregard it. So it is definitely still the 6th. So that obviously didn't contribute too well to my mental state straight away in that. And I had a good debrief with Claire. She's come to know me and she really, she does mother me a little bit. And she's just such an amazing soul of a human. The treatments that I've had with her have really just been so good, just to have someone to confide in. She's just amazing. I can't speak so highly of her. And of course another nurse, Kerry, who's just hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Both of them combined, just awesome duo. So as the day went on, my phone started to die, and luckily Claire had worked her magic and found me a iPhone charger cord, so I got to charge up my phone for a little bit while I sat and watched some terrible daytime TV, but got through it. At the end of it, with Claire's help, of course, I made it through the day. Left around just after 4 basically, came home and just wanted to collapse, but needed to do some sort of shopping, so had to duck out to shopping. And that's of course actually as I was walking from the ward down to catch my Uber home, I actually felt my side effects starting to kick in a bit. And good news, there's a new side effect that I've now contracted basically. So obviously, other than my the shakiness / shortness of breath, and also shakiness of talk, my key side effects that I've been experiencing is pins and needles in my feet, pins and needles in my mouth if I'm eating anything cold or drinking anything cold, and also in my hands. Now, as it's starting to go into autumn and winter, of course, I don't need to be holding anything cold or drinking anything cold because my feet automatically go cold and my hands automatically go cold, and I start to get the bloody pins and needles. So I'm looking forward to the next month of that, basically the next 5 weeks, because it does actually stick around. A lot of my side effects do actually stick around a lot longer than what they told me they would. Obviously because of my size, I've got quite a heavy dosage. So because of that, they said that I might feel the side effects a bit more and they might floor me a bit more. So besides that, the other key side effects primarily being nausea, which gets managed by having Maxolon pretty much every other day. And also having some steroid anti-nauseas on the Thursday and the Friday in the morning and at lunchtime. So it's a lot of fun, these side effects. Other than that, I guess too, my sleep has been even worse than before. I think I'm fairly certain I've talked about that. My sleep has been quite bad for quite some time. I'm currently on the highest dosage of temazepam, which is a sleeping tablet, plus the highest dosage of Valium, and now I'm also on Restovit, which is an antihistamine, which is meant to cause you to go drowsy, and it's barely keeping me asleep now. Last week I went through about 4 days where I didn't actually have any of the tablets at all, and I was that just physically and mentally drained. It really knocked me about. And I guess that's the whole thing about chemo, is that it does knock you about. It's unfortunately, it's cytotoxic drugs. They are to basically, as they say, mop up your system. That's what they say. So I guess that's the right term to use. So yeah, that was my day. Those are my side effects I'm currently experiencing. Also constant headaches. And